Calling from Abuja. Got a lot of Abuja calls today. You're live. Go ahead, Olajumoke.
Hello, ma. I've been holding on now.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead, please.
I'm first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I want to talk about what Malam Ibrahim, the second to the last caller.
Yes.
He said in Yoruba and in religion, divorce is allowed. You know, in Christianity, divorce is not allowed according to the manual, the Bible, that God presented for us. They didn't say you should not divorce according to the word of God. But if you divorce, you will not remarry. That's what the Bible says in Christianity. And if your husband dies, if you are not up to 50 years, you are supposed to remarry. And if you want to remarry, if your husband did not die, but you divorce, and you want to marry, and you marry another man, the two of you have committed sin. According to the word of God, they did not say you should not divorce. But if you divorce, you will remain like that.
Yes.
That's what the word of God says.
Yes. So that's
where the divorce shame comes from.
Yes.
It's not just that alone. You know,
but women are finding love every day.
Our last caller said, if you divorce the first one, you divorce the second one, you divorce the third one, they will question, are you a saint? And that is why you need to understand yourself. Because if you find yourself in repeating the same pattern, there is something in you that is making you fall into that pattern. And you will continue to fall into it. So it's the healing process we talk about.
So let me just ask,
many people just go to
when
church.
is the red flag? Is it after the second marriage or when you go into the third one?
I believe that
first marriage.
Immediately you are getting a divorce.
Yes.
You should know there is something wrong. I did not go, I didn't pick rights. Take responsibility. Don't blame the other person for not working. Because when we blame, most people that are going to divorce...
I was asking the red flag, what I mean.
No. Let me just finish this. Most people go into relationships and step out of a bad relationship, like we know it was bad. They blame their partner for not making the effort. You will not heal. You will not, if you take responsibility. I did something. I entered into this relationship. If I knew better, I wouldn't have been here.
No.
I wouldn't have picked this person because you agreed to that relationship. Except you got married based on your parents forcing you into the relationship. You are a co-participant. If you did not make it work, if you married a bad person, then you take responsibility.
I was just trying to ask
yourself.
like, what if you understand that you were at fault and every time you leave a marriage, you're saying, it was me, my fault. When is the red flag for someone looking at you to say, after the first one and second one?
And
is it when you have left the second one that the red flag goes up, or is it when you are in, you know, the third?
An interesting question, though, but let me take this call from Yakub. Good morning, Yakub. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, I think this topic is very, very, very important one. I heard one of you say that somebody that married before, and then he divorced first time, second time, third time, and then he now say that he find another love. You see, the question we need to ask ourselves is this: Yoruba always says that igi yoda eyonino, ele yoda eyokuro. So you get it. So when you are now say that this firewood is not good, this one is not good, how long are you going to be able to prepare the food? So the question is this, especially to women, to ladies, that even the one that's not yet married. First and foremost, a long time ago, Mariah always says something which I will never forget. You always say, sometimes when we discuss something related to this very particular topic, you always say that you should prepare for something that's unexpected in a marriage. Unexpected. Wow. So when something like that happens, the only thing I can advise a lady or a woman to leave the marriage is when your husband turn you to a punching bag, and then you see that kind of a red flag that if I don't leave, that probability I may leave this world to another world that I may not be able to return back. to come and manage my children. So at that point, you have to leave. So if you now come to a stage whereby you have this very particular woman, why did you left the first marriage? She now told you that my husband turned me to a punching bag. Yeah, that's a very good answer. That's, for that, you're good to go to grandma. If you know, as a man, you cannot beat a woman, that very particular woman is suited for you to marry.
Right. Thank you very much.
But no, I wanted to ask you, what if you marry the first punching bag, you marry the second punching bag, and you marry the third punching bag? It's no longer that you are marrying punching bag, it's that you are a punching bag. So you will, or anybody you meet will become a boxer.
Miriam asked that question.
That's
I was answering.
And I love the example. If you marry the first one and they turned you to punching bag, you marry the second person, they turn to punching bag. You marry the third person,
the problem
you turn to punching bag, and you divorce. At that point, you are the punching bag. And any man you meet will become a boxer. You are the one turning them into boxers. And until you take that responsibility...
Take the lessons from our...
you know that...
When Miriam asked that question, I answered. I said...
Why do you keep picking boxers?
If you come from a society where it is okay for you to be a boxing husband, you are likely to meet more people that are like that. But so not necessarily that you are turning yourself... Yes.
And turning them into...
So I'm just saying...
Maybe you don't know how to pick a boxer.
So, well, let me come...
Okay, so I was answering that, you know, the problem might be you. I remembered when Tope mentioned the issue earlier, I said I had a story where I was about 16, 15 when my auntie divorced her husband, who was a boxer. And my father called his daughters because we were 4 and said, it's okay if you people marry and it doesn't work out. Please divorce, but do me one favor. Give yourself a period of healing. Leave. When you leave, don't live in suspicious circumstances. Don't leave a controversy. Really, what he meant was that you're leaving a failed relationship into another relationship immediately, as if you're just moving on like that. You don't give yourself time to digest what you've gone through, your experience, and so you know whether to do better. And that conversation at that time, it looked like one-sided. I was like, okay, we should just wait a bit, But now, getting older, every time I think of that particular conversation with him, and I appreciate the fact that that healing period is when you decide what factor it is in you that will attract you to a boxer, for instance. What is it in you? Some people are impatient. Some people on the men's side are abusive. And it will take you divorcing and giving yourself time for you to come to yourself when you are alone in your closest private place, to tell yourself some truth about your personality and the things you would like to change. So it's not about a woman or man thing, but it's about both parties who are living a marriage. Usually, a man is living a marriage, which is common here, and is telling the next girl that, that my first wife, she was a failure. I had to move from her, and you move into another girl who is not asking the question, why did your first marriage fail? And she's not asking it objectively. If she was even asking that, you're telling her answers, she's not shining her eyes objectively to see,
what if you're lying? What if she's asking and they're lying to you?
You'll be able to spot it, because you're looking beyond what he's telling you. You're investigating.
I've shared a story here now that I met a man. I was single, and the man was on my case. And he showed me a bite mark. He showed me a stab wound that his wife was
the one
terrible to him. And I said, I cannot date a married person. He said he's going to divorce her. Fast forward a few months later, the woman was pregnant. The woman just had a child. I was like, how would you, because you are on bed rest, not just pregnant, like on bed rest. So where did those marks come from? I don't know. Maybe maybe
he got them from childhood. Maybe he got them from childhood.
Okay, you know, we always talk about preparation before young people get married. And I think Moran and I have always talked about the fact that wait till you're a bit older to get into marriage. Because there's some things you would not understand, or you don't understand the complexity first because you're so young and get carried away by so many distractions. But as you get older, understand yourself, you're likely to make, better decisions. And so for someone like that, you hope also that means you're likely to get into a marriage that you're sure of, and you're sure of being able to stay, persevere, or be patient when the tough time comes. I was going to, just one last thing. Yakub was talking about physically being abused. How about people that are in relationships where the man is unfaithful? Not just that he's unfaithful, he's sexually careless. so careless, he brings home all sorts of diseases. And this person now leaves the marriage. It's something that she's unable to express to the world and say, this is the reason. But this man takes care of you in the house, takes care of the children. Outside, yes, outside, everybody looks at him as a perfect husband. What do you tell that person? Does that person have a right to leave home? Yeah. To divorce.
How many people can she tell?
How many people can she tell?
Let me take this call from Lillian, then I'll come to you. Good morning, Lillian.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is a very interesting topic. I'm glad to contribute to this. You see, things that are happening in marriage, whether we like it or not, a lot of things are happening in marriage. And God has given us the grace as women to be patient, to bear some things in life. Men doesn't have that grace. That's just the truth. If we say, I'm getting married today, and if it doesn't work, I'm leaving, and I'm getting another man. If it doesn't work, I'm leaving and I'm getting another man. Is there any perfect man out there? There is no perfect man out there. And that is how I, as a woman, I'm not perfect too. Just as your colleague said, it takes two to tango. You have to work on your marriage. Once it has nothing to do with physical abuse. I know there is mental abuse. There is psychological abuse, emotional abuse that a woman will feel, I cannot continue anymore. But the truth is that we have to be patient in life concerning marriage. A lot of things are happening now because a lot of people, both the male and the female, they don't get prepared. They think marriage is all about, okay, let's come together and just have this union and just give birth to children. Let's bear children. No. Yeah. A lot of people are not prepared before getting into marriage. Right. And I think that is what we, as in the young ones, should know about it.
Hello, Lillian. Okay, thank you very much. There's an angle I've been trying to throw in for the past few minutes. I've not gotten the chance to. The part that today, when a more enlightened world, where we're more knowledgeable about things, so we're taught by coaches and therapists that, listen, we're social beings, that everybody needs love. Everybody needs that connection. Everybody needs that communion with somebody. And then we're looking at that with our biblical injunction that says, once you divorce somebody, you're not allowed to marry again. During those times, there went issues of mental health. There went issues of emotional abuse. Imagine the woman who has been asked not to, you can't remarry. The emotional trauma she's probably going through by herself. The fact that she's not economically empowered. If she was living in our time today, what therapists would have told her, listen, you have to find something you're doing. So my question is, how do we marry our religious requirement with modern day? Because a lot of women are finding joy, they're finding happiness, 60s, 50s. YK is in serious love at the over 60s, happy. So do we say, listen, this is our religion, we can't remarry. However, we're also saying that people are remarrying and they're happy and they're not sinning. So where do we meet halfway?
I think we have already passed it on. We've left the judgment of who sins and who is not sinning for God. Yeah. Sin is not something any human being can prosecute anybody for. It's a relationship. It's an offense against God. It's only God who can punish it, and your good is only God who can reward it. So it's not for any human being to decide. So do
what comes
naturally to you. What comes with what gives you peace of mind. So your conscience is there. There's that balance.
Miriam said it earlier. It's the reason why some women they're ashamed about it. They're ashamed to remarry. They're ashamed to fall in love again. They're ashamed to start over because they feel that I am the world, the requirement, the fact that the world, and even my Bible would judge me for even thinking of loving again.
You leave that place with that requirement. Once your relationship is with God, you leave it for God.
Mariam, what do you think about this?
See, if we go back to the shame of divorce on the woman, a woman at almost every step, when she leaves a marriage, there are different reasons why she should not be getting married. If she's young, really young, they'll say she was morally loose, that's why she left the marriage. If she has children already, they'll be like, why are you taking your children to another man's house? So that's another reason why a woman would decide not to marry. If she is of a certain age, in her 50s and her 60s, they'll be like, old woman like you that you're supposed to be a grandma, taking care of your grandchildren. You're now following man and be doing all sorts. You know, so at every point we have shamed, especially the Nigerian woman, about moving forward. But many people are changing it. At least in places like here in Lagos, you know, and, you know, like the cities, when we see celebrities doing it, it encourages someone somewhere that, okay, there's still a chance for me. And that's, you know, and that's where we are now. I think just a few people are held back by what the church says. There used to be a time you could not get married in the Catholic Church if you've been married before. But now, you are able to. You know, so things are changing and recognizing that women or men can find happiness. I just, you know, I wish for long marriages for a lifetime for all of us. But if ever, you know, I was to find out I have a friend who is going through such a tough time in a marriage, would I sit back and allow her to continue going through it or encourage her to find happiness? I would encourage her to find happiness. And I know for a lot of us, for a lot of people that call people out and judge them, if it were to happen to them or someone close to them, they would encourage that person to find happiness.
So, you know what you just said, it's extremely important that we have that conversation, because when people, if I sit down and assume, I look at this person, I look at the celebrity, and I don't understand that celebrities have blood flowing through their veins, you know. I've watched a few interviews with Chudi, and you can thank God there's with Chudi to give platform for these celebrities to express their emotion, that you realize the impact of those, you sit behind your phone and you type terrible messages to someone going through a divorce. Is the person happy to be divorced? You say, oh, this is your third marriage over. There's something wrong with you. Does the person not already feel that way? So as a society, we need to be more kind to one another, because a lot of people are going through things that there's nobody that they can even tell about what they're going through. The story you shared about a woman having to treat infection over and over again. I know someone. She's a mentee. She's an Ijabite. She got married as a virgin, and she had to leave that marriage because she was constantly treating different infections. And it was because her husband, who knew that she's marrying a Muslim Ijabite virgin, was busy sleeping with everything in skirts outside and bringing it home. It took her a lot to be able to even share it with me, because she kept saying, I am having medical issues. I was in the hospital. I said, why are you in the hospital over and over again? What's this medical issue? For a long time before she now told me, after she had left the marriage, what was the medical issue she was going through. So let's be kind towards people that are going through divorce. Let's be kind to people that are getting remarried. Send them good wishes. Give them joy. Pray that they will have a good experience this time around. And because that's what you want for yourself.
I wanted to say earlier that, you know, when you, even in first marriages, when you're trying, and when you're trying again, try to listen with not just your ears. Listen well. You know, I remember in my house, okay, my family, the standard for every suitor that came for our daughters was my father would see if you would join him for solar. So if you come around 12, you will see they will serve you lunch. They will do everything. They will be watching you. When he's around 1, he will now get up. He will call prayer and move. And he'll go to the mosque. So there was one suitor that came then. He sat down. When my father came back, as he wanted to, my father said, no, thank you very much. Please greet your family members. Thank you. And the
End of story.
End of story. So when my husband came, I thought he had heard that story because it was a popular thing then. Everybody used to just chat about that. If you don't pray for their house, you don't chop for their house, they go just say no. So he prayed. And my father was like, no, I particularly love his grandfather. You know, he talked all the stories because we're from the same place. And I kept looking at the guy. My husband was a guy. He did not look like any affair in any way at all. So one day I just called him up. I said, I asked him where was his office. He had mentioned to me. I went there, I looked for the closest Juma mosque, and I came back to the entrance of the office. I stood there. I waited, it was almost time for Juma. I kept watching. If you're a serious Muslim, you will pray Juma as a man. I kept watching. He didn't come out. After a while, I now called him. I said, are you going for Juma service? He said, yes, I'm waiting for my colleague. I said, okay, pray for me, Only for him to come out and see me there. I said, okay, please.
That's investigative.
I went to go and check because some things I cannot just deal. He told me he prayed, but did I take it like that? I went further.
Okay, let me take this call
and
from
you watch
Ayobo.
how he relates with people, whether he will respect you.
Yeah.
If he's already shouting at every neighbor.
I'm so sorry. I think I have Victor.
Run.
Good morning. Victor, are you there? I think I lost that call.
Sorry, Victor.
Let's take a few comments on social media, please, before you wrap up.
We have comments.
I have from Mr. Dr. Tijani.
Because that is our
Says marriage is a sacred institution, and that is how it should be by default. Divorce should only be as last resort, and when the relationship matters becomes irreconcilable. For me, it's a good thing to find love after failed marriage, and it is good for the society at large. There's a reason God created women from the ribs of men, and that is important in marriage. Men need extra patience in marriage than women, and I will justify this with the quote below. Treat women kindly, for the woman was created from a bent rib, and the most crooked part of the rib is the top part. So treat women kindly. That's from the hadiths. Okay. If you want to strengthen a bent rib. I didn't know it was a bent rib. Oh, it's bent. So
If you try to straighten it, it will break.
you
So
end up breaking it.
You tolerate it.
So I saw this tweet. It said, these women opt out of marriage to become, some women opt out of marriage to become side chicks to married men. Another person said,
pause that one. So leaving a marriage to become a side chick. Nobody wants to be a side chick.
Now,
but a man who decides to have a side chick, let's look at it from a different angle, not the usual angle.
Okay.
The angle like the man isn't happy either. Maybe for whatever reason, he just wants something else. And he also doesn't have the confidence to leave.
Well, say side chick as it is.
I'm just telling you.
No,
please.
you leave a marriage as a woman, you divorce. And then
then
you go
you're
to be
happy.
somebody's side chick.
Somebody
Meaning that person
destroy
is
another
married.
person's marriage.
Ew.
So what you couldn't take, you go and dish.
Okay, there's no conversation there.
I've learned it's easier if people are selfish.
Yeah.
So what you would, I'm happy to take. I think I've said this before. It's easier to be the cheater, the person that is cheating, than to be the one that is cheated on. So you are, when you're being cheated on, you are the victim. Nobody likes being the victim. But if you're the one perpetrating the evil, there's an empowerment that comes with it. After all, we see side chicks that tell the wives, if you were that amazing, he would not be with me, you know?
The reason why I wanted to talk about it, Mariam, was like, is there anything like true love? Where I'm married to you, not because I hate you, I love you, we're perfect together. But at some point, she's my side chick, and I think I really do love her. And I am willing to do my part to sort you out, but and she also has left her own marriage, but I think we are soulmates. So listen, I'm just saying, because we watch these things in movies where the butterflies come and I get, this is the person I should have married in the first. No. It can be true love. Listen, they're the worst.
It can be true love. You can. There's no one true love.
Haven't you heard? Like I've heard, like older people will tell you, like, I was in this marriage with your father or with your grandfather. I knew I was not the love of his life. That girl outside is the love of his life.
Because he did not marry the girl.
Yes. No.
If he married the girl, he would have seen finish.
Your father decided to do right by me and his children and said, you know, at least that covering, you have it.
Yes.
Because for Nigerian marriage, when you are within the marriage, if death happens, you would inherit, and your children will inherit. So I will not take that from you. I've broken your heart emotionally. I've left you for another girl. You know that at the end of the day, that's where I sleep. But I have given you this covering. So it happens. There's nothing new under the sun. But does it make it right? No.
Exactly.
Now, secondly, women are more empowered. So if a woman is empowered and she can provide for herself and her children, she'll be like, oh, you want to go side chick? I will find my way as well.
So me, Nima, if I were to divorce my husband, I cannot be side chick to anybody.
Thank you.
I will fully marry the person.
Pause.
I don't care.
Nima, wait
because
now.
You can marry
wait, I want to jump in. Well, you see, it's easy for you to say that because you didn't have a true love in the university. There are some people, listen. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. A woman has somebody she loves. But for whatever reason, I know, I've told you, I've shared a story here before.
Yeah, we know the story, the true love story.
That's true love story.
This thing because one person has sold it to you and you have to just find a way to believe it.
Right,
the marriage is about commitment. It's commitment. Plenty things will catch your eye in the space of marriage. I've seen things. I've seen some men that seem to align with my spec, you know, and they were giving me eye. It will catch my eye. It is the commitment to the marriage that will keep you there. Because if you water that ground, it will fertilize, things will grow. Love for me is one of the key recipes of love is commitment to that emotion you feel. So it's important that when you get into a relationship, you make the sacrifice to other things that would attract you around the side and focus on that one. If you give that true love, or who you call your true love, the time, you will get committed to that person. So I don't believe we should even entertain that narrative of true love. Of course, it's not to judge, because like Mayam said, there's nothing we've not seen under the sun.
There's it to judge part. There's it to judge part.
There is a story.
Let me tell you people. This man, he has his wife, and then he married this very big celebrity as second wife, who was side chick for many years and became second wife. When she now became wife, she now realized that Oga is allowed to leave the house Friday and does not come back to Sunday or Monday, and nobody's allowed to ask question where he's been. So that's how he's lived his life with first wife for all his life. And then when second wife came, she realized she could not take it. So I'm just saying that marriages, you'll be shocked when you are able to get a peek into some people's marriages, how it works for them, what works for them.
Hey, I have a juicy story here.
Let's hear this.
Let me let you. I want you.
You know, say I like that kind of gist. Please, gist. I like this.
So, hi, Mariah. Please don't mention my name. I used to be very popular in the university. I used to go out, and I had an ex that I liked. But eventually, I gave my life to Christ, and I'm married to a minister, and I'm a leader in church. I missed the romance with my ex once in a while when I was in uni. My husband is nothing like my ex. When my marriage started, I ran away from the lifestyle of my ex into religion. Today, my kids are grown. I'm 48 years old. I still think of those feelings back in the university. My plan is to leave this marriage in 2 years when I hit 50.
Okay, but what can't you teach the husband how to do
now,
the things
this
that she
is,
was
I can't engage this kind of woman. But this is somebody sharing her heart out to us.
But are you sure?
Let me tell her the truth. See, every relationship that you're looking for, marriage, girlfriend, before marriage, side chick, everything comes with its own insults.
Baggage.
Not be baggage, oh man, Danny. You know, in marriages, for us to make it work sometimes, you compromise so much, you submit, you do all of that, you put in effort. As a side chick, you will be jumping hotels and all of that. It's effort. The insult that comes with it, you will take it. The insult of, don't call me at certain hours, you will take it.
Yes,
so, see, I told a single friend that said, I'm not ready for this marriage scene. I'm not ready for, I said, Auntie, plus you where we marry, plus you where you single. With this journey of life, we happen to all of us. You will see your own. So you're dating somebody, you're saying, I'd rather be dating him. Are you telling me you don't have certain things that you can never take in life that you're putting up with?
Of course.
You put up with it. You will see insults. They will tell you, don't call me at certain hours, side chick. You know better than to call adult hours. You know better than to show up anyhow. To just
you choose your hustle. Pick your hustle.
You choose your, yes. So I mean,
the true love that you are looking at outside, that is shocking you, that after many years of marriage,
this might not be love.
Remember.
This might just be an experience. It's not really love, it's experience.
Okay, so this person, what I'm hearing her, she's asking, if she's asking us is, I'd rather end the marriage and go and
explore life.
Or do I explore it in marriage and then he does not hear? Which one would we prefer she do?
I think she's okay, she ends and explore life. She should end and explore life. So that's why people, that's why people discuss open marriage. You know that's you see,
it's another angle.
Yes.
Another evil.
Another evil. Let's call it what it is.
Well, men have been opening their marriages since
forever. But when women find themselves like, okay, I'm no longer, this marriage is no longer sexually appealing to me, or we are no longer sexually compatible, or we were never, but we are good parents. You are a good wife, I'm a good husband, and we have built a good relationship. Is it possible to then consider opening the relationship for that? You know,
on that note, we can end the show. I think that's all we can take on today. It's a different angle.
Just invite the devil to your house.
It's an interesting angle because whether we like it or not, today is the devil. Well, fast forward, many parts of the world is happening already. Fast forward time, 5 years time, it might start happening in Nigeria and start wondering.
It's always the drama.
So let us...
The people that you are...
Insult is everywhere. Take it inside marriage. It's not honorable.
As Nima has rightly helped us to round up, there's insult, there's disrespect, there's sacrifice everywhere. As a side chick, your insult is there. As a married woman, your insult is there. As a grandparent, everybody has... You choose the insult that you want to stay and just stay with it. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Join Veronica and the ladies on Saturday, and we'll see you Monday. Bye for now.
So you stayed back when I left. So why didn't you?